Welcome back to the show. Many thanks for staying with us. Like I promised you, I'm going to have a very interesting discussion with Sammy Gyamfi. Sammy Gyamfi is the new communications officer for the National Democratic Congress. If you've been monitoring this channel, you do know what's up, so I won't talk too much. Mr. Gyamfi, you're welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you in the studio.
Thank you for the
How does
opportunity.
it feel to be communications officer for the NDC?
It's exciting to come to the realization that a journey you began a couple of months ago to seek the mandate of the people of the NDC to be their humble mouthpiece has yielded results and has ended victoriously.
A couple of months ago.
That is exciting.
It's exciting.
Yes, it's exciting.
But you said a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was not a decision that you had thought about.
What I mean is that the journey, the campaign process took us about 3-4 months. So that's what I mean by that.
Okay.
Yes.
But before then, how long had you thought? I mean, like, how long did the idea really?
To be very honest with you, I got that idea from our rank and file and from the many admirers that I have across the country who encouraged me to put myself up for this position. And I am eternally grateful to them for encouraging me, because I believe that it is one of my greatest honors to be working for the party that I love so much. To help that party bounce back to power come 2020, so that once again we can rescue our beloved Ghana from the clutches of this inept, insensitive, and super incompetent Akufo-Addo Bawumia regime. That is my excitement, because I know without a shadow of doubt that come 2020, the victory of the NDC will come again. Okay,
so we'll talk about the victory of the NDC momentarily and how you intend to, what the strategy is. Let's say what the communication strategy is for you to get that done. But Fred Agbenyo, how close are you with him?
Fred Agbenyo is someone that I consider a senior brother and comrade. We have a very good, cordial relationship. I have lots of respect for him. This morning we spoke, and I can tell you that already we've started working together.
What did he say?
He sent a text to congratulate me. And to indicate to me that he's willing to work with me in line with the theme of our 9th National Delegates Congress.
Together we win 2020.
Together we win 2020. And so we are working together as a family, as a theme for one common purpose.
In what capacity is he going to work with you?
You see, the Communications Directorate is a big, directorate. You're talking about the communication structure from the national level all the way to the branch level. There are so many roles that he is going to play for our communications department. He has indicated his willingness, and as our national chairman and leader indicated yesterday, we are not leaving anyone behind. And so we have a lot to do. At the end of the day, we'll make sure that there is division of labor, and with one coordinated approach and with the singleness of purpose, we are able to channel our energies, tap into the expertise and experiences of everybody to ensure that we get power, because that is the ultimate. And so there will be a lot of things for him to do in the communications.
But it's not clear as yet what exactly you would have him do as part of the team.
Anything about communication is going to involve Fred Agbenyo, because you see, he comes on board with a wealth of experience in communication. He's been Deputy National Communications Officer before. During the campaign, I had the opportunity to listen to his agenda and the plans he had for our communications outfit. And I buy into most of the, the proposals that he had for our delegates.
Why do you think he lost?
I think that
I mean, a 4,000 margin.
I think that is for our delegates to answer. I cannot say.
Why do you think you won?
Why did I think I won? I think that over the years, I have demonstrated competence in my service to the party. First of all, as the public relations officer of 10K NUST about 12 years ago, as president of 10K NUST, as spokesperson for the mayor of KMA, as an assembly member, as a constituency executive member in Doma East, as a member of the Bunahafo Regional Communications Team, a member of the Ashanti Regional Communications Team, and a member of the National Communications Team. And so I believe that the overriding factor for our delegates was that competence and what we have demonstrated. And I believe in all humility that in their wisdom, thought that I am best cut for the job at this stage. That is not to say that my senior brother, Fred Agbenyo, is not competent. He's competent, but, you know...
Actually, people have said that people like Agbenyo have served the party much longer. And so it looks as though the party or the delegate perhaps decided not to reward people who
that is not accurate. You know, people speak based on what they know. The only problem is that not too many people know about where we are coming from. Okay. You understand? So I understand that, but you see, elections are over. This is not the time for us to talk about why somebody lost, why somebody won. You know, that was all part of the electioneering campaign process. That is over. Our eyes are now set on the ball.
There are some who have actually said that you, for example, persons like you won because you are necessarily seen to belong to a Mahama camp.
A Mahama camp? Well, I'm not too sure about that.
Is that anything to go by?
No, I don't. You see, our focus is not on whether somebody won an election because he's affiliated to the Mahama camp. Our focus is that we went into a campaign. Elections are over. There are no losers. The NDC is a winner, and we are coming together, whether it is Fred Agbenyo or Sammy, we are coming together to work with a united sense of purpose and to ensure that our party wins back power come 2020.
Let's look at winning 2020.
Yes.
What is the strategy?
I am not to share the details of our strategy with you, but on the communication
You're not
front,
actually sharing only with me, with my viewers.
But you see,
even the more reason why you wouldn't.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
you understand.
I see.
Of course. But you see, the point is, my agenda for the communications outfit of our party is quite clear. I encapsulated that and dubbed it the 10-point agenda. And that was what I presented to the delegates of our party, which they bought into. It's all about building an effective, a robust communications outfit where our relationship with the media, with academia, with all stakeholders will be deepened, where information dissemination to our party structures will be checked and make sure and efficient, you understand, where we'll put in place measures to ensure that we take the issue of research very importantly, where we adopt a communication approach, a communication strategy that is persuasive and that appeals to the floating voters and our grassroots base. That is what my agenda is about. But I'll leave out the details for now because that is between us and our delegates. And I know that come next Congress Day, come next 4 years, they will hold us to account for our stewardship and what we promised them. I'd
like for us to continue this conversation about winning 2020 and why you lost, you think the NDC lost the election, because people have actually said that the NPP did not win an election, the NDC lost an election. But let's listen to the General Mosquito. Let's listen to the General Secretary General Mosquito speak earlier to Daniel Dazi about how or why they lost the election 2016 as they now decide, re-strategize to win or try to win the 2020 elections.
The most significant threat to our victory before in the 2016 election was disunity. You know, I'm talking, if I say disunity, I'm referring to how the elected executive was or was not working together very well. If you are in any battle or any war front, and you cannot take command from a uniform source, then you are in for trouble. And I am confident that with this new executive, that thing will be a thing of the past. It is not because there are new types of human beings, but it's because of the rhetoric that preceded both campaigns. When you took a look at what happened before the 2014 Congress in Kumasi, the rhetoric was much more hostile, and the campaign promises of the key actors was that it was based on the false impression that the General Secretary was too powerful and he needed to be caged, his wings needed to be clipped and all that. So all the persons who were campaigning for the various positions kept repeating that they were the guys who can do the job of clipping the wings of the General Secretary. And I thought that was dangerous. So I kept warning that I cannot imagine an enterprise which you are going to begin with people whose campaign promise was to cause disunity. You understand? So I kept warning, but those warnings were ignored. And once they got elected, and they had a campaign promise to fulfill, and that is to appear to be the ones who were clipping the wings of the General Secretary. And if the General Secretary is going to be the key actor in the elections and you have people around him with the campaign promise of clipping his wings, I wonder how you can win election.
General Mosquito there, Asiedu Nketia, earlier speaking to Daniel Dazi. So he speaks about unity, and unity has been a key theme, not just for the NDC, for the NPP as well. How badly cracked would you say the party is, and what is the communication strategy to deal with that going into 2020?
But currently there are no cracks in the NDC.
For real?
When we lost power, you know, when you lose power as an incumbent, there will be internal bickerings. People will feel agitated and angry based on what they think didn't go as it ought to have gone. So what our General Secretary just spoke about is something that we must appreciate and analyze in context. He's speaking about what the situation used to be. But as we speak now, I'm sure if you talk to him, he will tell you.
You have dealt with that situation?
Of course, we have, because immediately we lost power, you remember that we initiated healing, agenda, healing process. And that was what led to the unity walks. That was what led to the Kwesi investigative, work. Even pursuant to that, we have undertaken various activities to unify our party and to ensure that we work together as one family as far as 2020 is concerned. And so I can tell you that there are no cracks. That is why yesterday you saw how Congress, turned out to be, how even those who were not very successful in their attempt to win the various positions they were contesting for came up stage, spoke, congratulated those of us who were successful and fortunate, and pledged their unalloyed and unflinching support for our agenda to win election 2020. That is what we are focused on currently, because our victory as individuals is meaningless unless it is linked with the eventual victory of the NDC come 2020. And so that is our preoccupation currently.
I see. You mentioned that one of the things you want to do, the communications outfit wants to do, is to build a stronger relationship with the media.
Our national chairman indicated that yesterday, yes.
Exactly.
To deepen it. To deepen it.
To deepen it.
Yeah.
Exactly what does that mean?
To deepen something. That's simple to
Help
understand,
me.
right? I mean, what we want to communicate or put across is that this time around we'll be working more with the media. This perception that the NDC is anti-media or is not media friendly is only a perception. It is not real. The people who are not media friendly are the ones who are shutting down radio stations.
Recently one of my colleagues was slapped by a security detail of Mr. Mahama.
Mr. Mahama? I've not heard of that. I'm hearing of that for the first time.
Kwesi Parker Wilson.
Kwesi Parker?
Yes, he was slapped.
Well, I haven't heard of that. Parker is a friend. If that happened, then that's very unfortunate.
I'm surprised he hasn't told you.
He's a friend. I've not heard of that.
He was slapped, and I mean, it was actually a news item.
Okay, but what we can tell you that yesterday, a new dawn was birthed for the NDC. Okay. And moving on, some of these flaws of the past, some of these challenges will be dealt with. Okay. So that we have a good relationship with the media. Because the media is a fourth estate of the realm. They are key stakeholders in our efforts in building this democracy.
Okay, speaking of winning 2020, Yesterday, and speaking of a new dawn that has been birthed, as you say, yesterday we heard Anita D'Souza speak after the election. One of the things he said, which a lot of people have been discussing, is that he says the Voltarians are out of the game. The Volta region is, as the NDC itself has said, the World Bank for the party. You heard somebody like Anita D'Souza say so, and it feels as if it's not said without bitterness. How do you intend to deal with this perception? Like she said, the Voltarians are out of the game now. Does it even matter, do you think, to win in 2020?
First of all, let's get the context clear.
Okay.
We're speaking about one person, one aspirant, or one or two people who have indicated their opinion, stated their opinion. And I think it's well.
A former executive.
Yes, it is well within their right to do so because the NDC is a democratic Congress. You understand? But facts are sacred, and the facts in this case shows otherwise, that we have Volta region well represented in the current crop of executives that we have elected.
Is it?
The Deputy National Youth Organizer, Edem Agbana, is from the Volta region. Another Deputy National Youth Organizer, Rusedo, is also from the Volta region. Mr. Wilson Agbeleke is a member of NEC. He's also from the Volta region. Madam Evelyn Enyonam is from the Volta region. Our Deputy National Organizer, Kobi Ballon, is from the Volta region. We have a lot of people from the Volta region. We have about 7 current national executives who hail from the Volta region. And so that observation is not very accurate. You understand? Secondly, we must also appreciate the fact that the constitution of the NDC allows for certain key positions to be appointed, to be given by appointments. And so we will be appointing 2 national vice chairmen.
Okay.
We'll be appointing 5 NEC members. And so when there are regional imbalances, that will be considered in making these appointments. And I have a clear indication from our national chairman that regional balance is going to be a key consideration for the appointments that NEC is going to be making. So, yes, genuinely, I can understand why people may be worried, because you see, the Volta region is not just a wall bank for the NDC, but a live wire and the spinal cord of our party. But the fact is, Volta region is well represented. And you know something? You don't have to necessarily, and I'm saying this, that is granted, or even assuming without admitting that that observation is correct. You don't necessarily have to hail from an area before the interest of those people becomes paramount to you, before their interest becomes your priority. Our national chairman has indicated that he's going to be a Voltarian chairman, and that Volta region is his #1 priority.
That's what a Voltarian chairman means?
Yes,
okay.
That's what that means. And I, for one, when I had the opportunity to tour the Volta region for my campaign, I adopted various constituencies in the Volta region. They voted for me. I got about 60% of the votes in the Volta region, clearly
so
showing that the people, you see, you cannot be a member of the NDC and not love the Volta region. That is the heartbeat of our party. That is a heart, that is a spinal cord. We look up to the Volta region for our very existence. But you see, this time around, the primary consideration for our delegates was not whether or not somebody hails from their region. And that is something that you in the media should be commending us for. They were looking at building a formidable team which will be able to take our party to the promised land come 2020. What we are after is power. When we have power, the people of Volta region will see development, which are stored for the past 2 years since this inept, impotent Akufo-Addo Bawumia government took over the realms of this country. So that is what they are concerned about. But you see, even before I go there, when you go to the Volta region today, I don't know whether you've ever heard of one Colonel Kabore. Colonel Kabore, by far, is acclaimed to be the most successful regional commissioners that the Volta region has ever had. If you go to Volta region today, you will see streets named after Colonel Kabore. He's celebrated among Voltarians, and yet he was not a Voltarian himself. So you see, people are trying to create mountains out of molehills. There isn't any issue. There aren't any cracks. We are all one. Moreover, in addition to that, we have indicated that in this election there are no losers. And what that means is that Fred Agbenyo is not out of the system. What that means is that Mr. Koko Enedo is not out of the system. What that means is that my own mother, whom I respect so much, Madam Anita Disoso, is not out of the system.
Have you reached out to her, since she made this comment?
Oh, we just concluded our Congress yesterday.
Okay, so you have not been able to speak with her.
I'm very sure that the chairperson, the vice chairpersons will take that step, you understand. But I can tell you that I have been in touch with my senior brother, comrade Fred Agbenyo, who I'll be working very closely with because of the wealth of experience he brings on board.
Very well. Let's speak about a point that the General Secretary made when he was reading his speech earlier at the Congress. He said that the party's members have been under attack by some of the vigilante groups in the NPP. And he says that they've called on the security agencies, they've called on government to stop the people, they're not listening, and it has caused some people within the NDC to form counter groups to protect themselves. That's what he said. But vigilantism has been an issue that we've had to deal with in this country, and we all know the repercussions that they are. What is the plan to deal with vigilantism, especially within the NDC, since that's where you represent?
Within the NDC? I don't think that we have any such problem to deal. No, currently, the problem we have in this country, I don't even want to call it vigilantism. I call it hooliganism, because these groups are not vigilante groups. They are paramilitary groups. You know, who... Including
the ones you have in the NDC?
Like which ones?
Azoka Boys?
The Azoka Boys have never attacked a court of competent jurisdiction. They have never attacked a policeman at the seat of government, like DSP Nanka Bruce was beaten to pulp at the Flagstaff House under the tenure of this government. They haven't attacked a police station. Like
so until they do anything, because the groups within the NPP...
What I'm trying to say is that you are comparing oranges with apples.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because the group within the NDC operated, so to speak, within the NPP, operated, so to speak, the same way that the groups within your party have operated until we've seen until we started
even
seeing
before
these
they came
things.
to office, they were pouring acid on themselves and killing themselves. Even before they came into office, they were fighting on a daily basis at their national headquarters.
Let's talk about how you want to deal with this problem, because it's obviously a problem.
We don't have a problem to deal with. The NDC is a lawful party. The cases of lawlessness and impunity that we have seen in this country in the past 2 years have been perpetrated by known thugs of the NPP. The president himself knows about these groups, and he has promised to deal with the problem. But we all know that he's been paying lip service to that because they are not genuinely committed to that fight. And that is why they have the courage and the impunity to do what they are doing. What we are saying is that we are a lawful party. We will not attack any court of competent jurisdiction. We will not attack the police. We will not attack the media. We will not attack anybody. We will not destroy public property. We will be law-abiding, but we will protect ourselves, because self-defense is prescribed by law.
Protect yourself by forming groups to deal with what you're calling
our national chairman and leader. No, not hoodlums. Our national chairman and leader yesterday indicated clearly that we are going to harness the talents of the young people in our party positively.
So you're forming such groups to protect yourself.
You see, if you listen to him yesterday, what did he say? He said we are constituting what he calls the ballot box protection unit. The ballot box.
How different is that from the Delta forces, who you refer to as attacking the courts?
They were not created to protect the ballot box.
They were created. The NPP will also tell you that they were created to protect themselves because they did not trust the police to protect them when your government, your party was in power.
Exactly.
So it's basically the same thing.
No,
we're repeating the same problems.
You see, we have been in opposition before, and we have been in government before, and never in the history of the NDC have we had thugs from the NDC like we are now having in the NPP.
Isn't it a matter of semantics?
No.
You're trying to beautify the words for you and make it ugly for others?
These are the people who went to South Africa, brought mercenaries into this country to train their young people on how to assault the pillars of state. You understand?
How are you going to regulate the groups that you say you will create? What are they called again? Ballot box protection unit?
Protection unit. What that is about, it's got nothing to do with hooliganism, no.
What are they supposed to do?
It has to do with providing security for our polling agents, most of whom are intimidated, especially in the strongholds of the NPP. So we provide security for them, and then we use them as a buffer, a standby force for polling agents to help them in ballot accounting, help them in filling the pink sheets, to help them to do their work well, so that on election day, we will not have the problems we encountered during the last elections.
How will you control them so that they don't go, they don't also go attacking another court?
Discipline. That is the difference between the NDC and the MPP. If you look at the thugs in the MPP running helter scatter, terrorizing everybody, including the president himself, his appointees, chasing them out of meetings, attacking security installations, attacking policemen, attacking contractors and all that. You have not seen that when it comes to the NDC. We are not known for that. And so I think that instead of you in the media trying to help the MPP, to give the MPP the opportunity to equalize and rationalize and create the impression that, oh, both the NDC
Did you say the media is giving the MPP?
Yes, the opportunity. Because
is that a fair? You've just spoken about mending your relationship with the media. Now you're just accusing the media of giving a party. The media can't give the party, can't give any party the opportunity to say what they're doing is right when it is wrong.
I don't know
that's not the job of the media.
I don't know why you chose the word accuse.
Yes, that's what you're doing.
Maybe I thought you would see it as a genuine constructive criticism.
What I mean is that, you see,
when something but the media is also not beyond reproach, and so we must understand that. So that's why I'm saying that when something happens, we must name and shame. All the incidents of lawlessness that we have seen, gone unchecked in the last 2 years, have been perpetrated by known thugs of the MPP. Nobody has been punished for that. The king of Ashanti, of the Ashantis, Otunfo Osei, no less a person than the king of the Ashantis, have had cause to come out to complain that we must deal with this creeping culture of lawlessness, which is forming part of our body politics today. The president himself has given us various assurances, yet he has failed. You understand? I can give you a litany of cases, more than 30 cases of lawlessness, which has happened in this country since this government, took over the realms of this country. And nobody has been punished. Nobody has been prosecuted. The last one we saw in Kumasi, where known thugs of the MPP attacked the court of competence till date, and only prosecution was entered by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Nothing has been done.
You say that the NDC wants to make this right. Give me your final words by telling us how you want to make it right.
We want to assure the people of this country that we will be law-abiding. The groups that we will constitute will work in accordance with the laws of Ghana. And that is what we are talking about. We will work in accordance with the laws of Ghana. We will be disciplined. You see, the only way we are going to apply, say, violence or force in our activities is when we are called upon to defend ourselves.
So you apply violence?
Because that is prescribed by law. The law allows you. If right now I pull a gun from my pocket to shoot at you and you have another gun, the Constitution says that it is your fundamental human right to defend yourself.
So these groups that you want to form, they are not far away from violence?
It's to defend the NDC. You understand? Because in Ghana today, contractors have been victims.
Okay,
the police have been victims.
Courts
of competent jurisdictions have been victims of the impunity and the lawlessness of these thugs.
Your final words?
So my final words are simple. We are poised, united, and battle ready for election 2020. We want the people of this country to know that the NDC is a better and a credible alternative to this inept Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. And come 2020, I know that they will buy into our vision, they will endorse our solid record, and they will vote us back into power so that we can restore Ghana, like I said already, to the path of development and progress. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much for coming, Sammy. I wish you all the very best. Sammy Gyamfi there, the new communications officer for the NDC. He says they want to rescue Ghana from an inept government. Do you agree with him? Well, 2020 will tell it all.